Story.
He was being lazy and he wasn't helping me with the housewares and didn't want to help me cook and things like that I had to do everything. I had to work. I had to cook, clean, this, that. We got into a lot of heated arguments. And in one of those arguments, I said, yeah, well, I have a secret to tell you. I used to be a man. And he freaked. It had been about 2 years that Justin and I were dating. And when I did blurt that I used to be a man, he was in shock. Like, what? Like, how could you lie to me and do this? I traumatized him. And he went home and he was depressed for a really long time. And I feel bad about that.
When was the last time you were together?
In 2007.
15 years ago.
Yes. Wow. And we're back together. Second chance at love.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and we will be discussing Nikki, Exotika, and Igor, aka Justin, from 90 Day Fiancé, the new season. They're giving people a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. Little context before we discuss Sunday's episode. Nikki and Justin have been dating for a while. They initially were together a few years back, and she even got the K1 visa for him to come to America. And they were just, not connecting. They weren't really splitting domestic chores equally. She felt like he lacked ambition. And in one of their fights, she was just like, you know what? Oh, yeah, you feel this way, blah, blah, blah. Well, I was born a man. Nikki, at that point, had decided to omit that information from their relationship. Igor slash Justin took that really hard. He said that he was traumatized by the experience and just needed time away. And they broke up and he went back to Moldova, which is where he's from. They had time apart. Nikki went on with her life, performing artist, among other things. She models, she gives advice on plastic surgery, as she is very passionate about it and has gotten a lot of work done on herself. Even though they were apart and not romantically linked, they stayed in communication and they decided to rekindle their romance. Rekindling their romance, Nikki wants to try for the K1 visa one more time. I didn't know this, but you can only sign up for the K1 visa 2 times. And so basically this is their last shot at love, or at least that's how Nikki places it. But she wants to make sure that, that they're the real deal and that they're not going to go back on their words. So she's going to go to Moldova to visit him. We finally got to meet him, his perspective on their relationship. Going into it, I'm like, oh, Moldova. We know somebody from Moldova already in this show, and he's a bit of, heavy on the machista culture and gives very women are beneath me and I'm the man of a house energy. And so I was worried going into it because I'm like, Nikki is a trans woman and it sounds like a very risky situation to be in with someone that's so hyper fixated on masculinity. But Igor is nothing of the sort. Immediately his demeanor is so tender and so gentle. He's very soft spoken, and Igor tells us that he's a personal trainer and that the reason he focuses so much on physical health is not for the physical look of it all, but the way the term that he uses is universal soldier. It's kind of like that idea of if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, It's so clear that he's like comes from a simple background and isn't really into the superficial things. Not that that's a bad thing, but it is very different from his partner. Nikki is larger than life. Her performance persona is larger than life. She dresses really sexy. She doesn't mind being the center of attention. And Igor gives me the energy that he likes to be just like in the shadows, laying low, not really in the mix. He says that he's worried about Nikki coming to Moldova, not only because people are not as open to trans people out there, but he's worried for her safety because she attracts a lot of attention. He says that she does this with her makeup and her outfit choices. And it's interesting that he views it as a safety issue. She's been to Moldova before, and we saw her earlier packing for her trip. And she was just saying how she's bringing excitement to Moldova because the people out there are lacking it. And so they panned to her luggage, and it was like a lot of glitter, heels, and things like that. And it's just so interesting that she views her eclecticness as a superpower. Nikki very much lives her life as the main character. I can already see what their issues are going to be. I don't think that he doesn't accept her, but I think that he is questioning what that means for his manhood. He still doesn't, he's just very confused by it all. And Nikki is very much in the I've arrived moment in her life, and she lives boldly. And I think that it was easy for him to get used to the idea of her and her personality from afar. But I think now that she's coming to his turf, um, it's so real that it's making him question everything. But most of all, it's very clear that he cares for her and he's worried about how she will be perceived and treated. So we see that he meets up with one of his best friends, and in that we learn that he has told his people, he's told his friends, he's told his family when it all happened. Apparently Nikki has met his parents before, and he doesn't have any secrets. He even said that he had confided in some friends about what had happened when he came back home, and they've they stopped being friends with him. He was rejected by people that he considered family and people that he believed should have been loyal to him no matter what. And so that time was a huge moment of discovery for him. And he says that he needed that break from when they broke up to meditate, to read, to work out, to really center himself because he felt lost. So Igor says that since the last time that she went to Moldova, she's gotten a lot more surgeries, which make her look more feminine. But because she's such a hottie, she's gonna attract a lot of attention, as she already does on the internet and back home. And you know what? I know that's right. She's working it. But I think the issue here for him, what he's saying is that it's not about her being trans. It's just about him being low key and not wanting someone that is sought after in that way. Like he wants something that's more demure and for him. But my question is, as he was saying, I was wondering, would he have the same issue if there was a cis woman expressing herself in the same way? Or is this issue because she's a trans woman that's expressing her gender out loud? I'm really looking forward to seeing these two interact in person because they're so different that I'm like, what do you guys talk about? I want to know because you guys were together before, and obviously there was enough chemistry that it lit up again. So I'm really looking forward to seeing their story unfold. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, do like it, do subscribe because I will be keeping up with this couple and many more on 90 Day Fiancé. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.